guys, I hope you're all doing well. So I was sitting here thinking about like palettes and, you know, video ideas and different things like that. And something that I noticed when it comes to palettes, going through my collection, most of my palettes, pretty much 99% of them, have a theme to them. And with that being said, it's like it's a rainbow palette, or it's a metallic palette, or it's just a mishmash of bright shades like a Juvia's Place palette, or all mattes, or just a warm palette. Like, palettes usually have a theme to them. Palettes, I can say all palettes pretty much have a theme. Some themes are more obvious than others. But in the grand scheme of things, when you think about like what's on the market today, usually these palettes, again, have a theme, with ColourPop and their monochromatic palettes, or Huda Beauty and her tiny little Obsessions palettes, which are all fabulous. They all get me excited. But what about a palette that you, what would be a palette that would you consider well-rounded? And that's like kind of the question that I asked myself. Because I couldn't think of like, okay, well-rounded palettes. And so I first off had to figure out what well-rounded palette meant to me. So a well-rounded palette is a palette that doesn't lean too much on any particular theme. It's not super warm, it's not super cool, it's not all neutrals, but it's not all color or brights, it's not all one finish. Those kind of things, yeah, like almost like a mishmash of shades, but those shades still look cohesive. And it's a palette where you can get multiple looks. I thought about that. I was like, okay, well, if I have a well-rounded palette, I should be able to at least get a neutral look out of it. And this is my skin tone. Remember, a neutral look out of it, a deeper smoky evening look out of it, and some sort of look with some color. It doesn't have to be like a neon color, but like some sort of look with a color, a pop of color, a deep smoky type of look, and a neutral look. Because in my mind, I think those are the three main themes of looks that you're doing on your eyes. You're either doing a neutral look, a darker look, or something with some color. So, yeah, so I thought that a palette that I could achieve all those with, at least satisfactorily achieve all those with, and good quality, of course, would be a well-rounded palette. So once I figured out that definition of what a well-rounded palette was to me, I started searching through my collection, and I found four. I found four palettes that I can consider well-rounded, that I can consider it checks all the boxes. Has a array of shades, an array of finishes, an array of color, well, I said shades, array of finishes, and it doesn't lean on any theme. It just provides you with a good palette, if you will, to play with. So with that being said, something that needs to check all those boxes is not going to be necessarily huge, but it's not going to be like a quad or something that only has, you know, 10 shades. All of these palettes have, you know, a larger amount of shades, in the 20-ish number of shades, maybe the 30-ish number of shades, that kind of thing. They're kind of larger palettes, but it just makes sense. If you're getting all of this out of it, it's going to have a wide array of shit. Like, that's the whole point of being well-rounded. But that doesn't necessarily mean expensive. All of these palettes are under $50, and so yeah, doesn't mean necessarily expensive. But yeah, I just want to show you my four. I've talked a lot, but I want to kind of explain where this video is coming from and what I mean. So we'll go by most expensive to least expensive, I guess. So the first one is probably, it's definitely going to be in my best products, again, of 2019. It was already in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But this palette, at $49, it's actually on sale right now at Ulta for $29. Probably won't be at the time of me publishing this video, but anyway, scoop it up. It's the Urban Decay Born to Run palette, alright? This is what the packaging looks like. This palette, again, retails for $49. I think it's a permanent palette. It has a display in Ulta. Let me open this up, and Sephora, if you will. So, this palette checks all the boxes. So, we have 21 shades, okay? Large mirror, really sturdy packaging. I've traveled with this palette. It's definitely been like the core palette. So, when you get into this palette, you do have warm, but you also have cool on this side. You have a array of finishes. So we have some mattes, we have some satins, we also have some really shiny metallics like in Stranded here, okay? So you have you have the finishes down packed. You can get a really light neutral look. Do these like first 6 in this top row along with some of the warmer ones if you're into the warm neutrals like I am. Okay. The metallics definitely count as neutrals with like taupe and copper, like, you know, y'all with me so far. Okay, but then you can also go cool. They have a beautiful array of these blues down here, this taupey charcoal, that green there is gorgeous. So you have that kind of to play with as well. And then on top of that, you have pink, you have purple, you do have green. So you have, this is almost orange. You can get your little subtle pops of color, and even pack this on the lid to make it even brighter. Pack this pink or purple on the lid to make it even brighter. So definitely has those pops, and you can get, yeah, you can do an orange, pink, green, blue, and don't touch any neutrals. You have a black in here, which I mentioned this when I reviewed this palette. I just thought it was so fun that they put the black right in the center at the bottom. The black is usually like on a corner, tucked away, but they put that black right there. Use it. You don't want to use black, you have a really nice deep chocolate brown here to make a nice smoky, deep, sultry look. So I think this palette definitely encompasses everything that well-rounded is. Okay, so yeah, definitely I recommend all of these. I don't know, in terms of your budget, this is just basically which one should you get because of your budget. Which one you should get is based on your budget, or, you know, I guess whatever one you like better. But I can't, like, just wonderful things. The quality of Urban Decay shadows is just magnificent. As we all know, they have been an OG in the game, and this palette really, like, this palette let people know who they were again. Like, y'all getting bored with them naked palettes, let us show you what we do. And that's what they do. Okay. Alright, so coming in, these next 2 palettes, if I'm not mistaken, are the same price, but I think this one might have been a little bit more expensive at first. So we're going to do this one. This is the Morphe 39A. So if any Morphe palette was in my well-rounded collection, a well-rounded video, you would think it might be the James Charles because it has rainbow shades, but it doesn't have very many neutrals. It doesn't have that many neutrals. It's more of a rainbow bright palette. I love that palette, but I wouldn't count it as well-rounded due to the weight of like rainbow bright shades definitely being heavier than the pops of color. So if we look at this 39A though, it's a little bit neutral heavy, but I think look at this. If you look at it, let's look at the next to the Urban Decay. I will say the quality of the Morphe shadows are not as bomb as Urban Decay, but can you see here? Can you see how the same? Yeah, so let's break that down. So this palette has more warm tones in it. Has a really big row of neutrals here. You have matte neutrals all about. You also have a lot of cool mattes down here and a lot of cool neutrals. You have blue, you have green, you have pops of pink, you have, like I said, pops of blue, pops of green. You have a beautiful red orange here, as well as a matte orange. These two, I mean, this right here is fire. Like, that's fire already. So you have those to make your pops of color. You have a black, you have a deep chocolate brown, you have a deep eggplant, almost black, almost deep black in this palette. In the finishes, you have, they're more mattes, but you have satins, you have metallics, you have shimmers, same thing. You guys see what I'm doing? See what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing? This one retails for at the time of release, I could have sworn it was $39. I'm going to double check for you, and I'm going to link it down below, of course. It's either $39 or $35 right now. But of course, with Morphe, you have codes and different things. This one's not sold at Ulta, but it's definitely sold on Morphe's website. Another thing is, all of these palettes you can get right now. I have a couple of like Bad Habit palettes that I think could go in here, but we know that fiasco, and now all these palettes you can get now. So anyway, yes, metallics. Warm tones, cool tones, pops of color, varying finishes, Morphe 39A. This is a larger palette, but this is the palette with, this has 39 shades. I have one that has 40 shades. But again, if you're looking for a well-rounded palette, you're going to need a variety of shades. So these, I think they're all travel friendly, probably except one. The next one, might break because mine's broke. But other than that, you can still travel with them. But again, it would be the only palette you should carry because it has all of that. So just think about that. A lot of people don't want a million palettes. You don't want a rainbow palette or a bright palette because you don't use color that much. But you also don't want all neutrals because it's boring. Or you don't want all mattes or all metallics. Put them all in one palette, and this one definitely, look at all my fingerprints on. Look at that. That's just trashy. So that's a 39A, okay? Then this next palette, mine's actually broken. Not the palette itself, but the packaging. It's kind of cheap. This is the NYX Swear By It palette. So at first glance from this palette has 40 shades in it, and it retails for $35. You can get it on the NYX website. I got mine from a NYX store in the mall somewhere. Anyway, with first glance of this palette, you see this bright center right here, and you're like, okay, bright, warm rainbow, bright. Then you step back and you calm down. So again, wide variety of finishes. You have metallics, you have mattes, you have satins, you have a little bit of shimmers up in there. Your neutrals range from, you have your neutrals, your warm neutrals, all the way over to some cool neutrals in this area. You also have blue, the color, you can see the colors there, yellow, pink, blue. Do we have a red? We have a deep fuchsia type of color. Taupes, lavender, whatever this color is here. I don't even know what this is, but it's in there. I don't know what that is. My camera's trying to focus on my face, but I don't know what that is. I don't know. But this gold though, ooh. Like, you can work with those. You can do some things with those. This palette, again, $35. You have 40 shades in here. This is the biggest palette that NYX offers, and it's probably one of the largest palettes in a traditional drugstore in terms of, like, not just like an online store, but yeah, probably one of the largest ones out there. Beautiful quality. NYX shadows. I have no issues with NYX shadows. And all of my experience with NYX shadows is in palettes. I don't really own any NYX singles. I think I own like one or two of those metallic crush type of singles, but and maybe I had some of their neon ones that weren't good. I don't know, but NYX palettes are pretty good. And so, yes, their Swear By It palette, I think definitely well-rounded. Warm, cool. You got a black, you got a deep charcoal gray, a deep blue, a deep brown, a deep brick. So you can smoke out a look. You can smoke out a look and make it, say the same thing. I say the same thing over and over again. Saying the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, again, I think it's just well-rounded. This green, oh, can we do something with this? Can we do something with this? My lipstick don't look that good. Oh well, it's gonna come off in a minute. So, yeah, absolutely stunning. Okay. Finally, this is a newer favorite that creeped up on me at the International Makeup Artist Trade Show. It is one of the Morphe Beauty palettes. This palette retails for $25. You can get it on their website. There are some like beauty stores, like, you know, like neighborhood beauty stores that have whole Morphe displays. This is a sidebar conversation. The beauty store where I picked up in my mall near my job, it's like tucked in the corner of the mall, and I found these LA Girl neon liners. And they have a whole Morphe display with all the palettes. So, I don't know, just letting you know. This is the Destiny Eye and Face palette in the You I Desire shade, whatever. So if you open this one up, this has, oh my god, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 shades. So this one has the least out of all of the palettes, but it also has 4 face pans. You have, they're probably all blushes. Let's say 4 blushes. This one might be advertised as a highlight, but definitely not on me. This is like my favorite blush out of all 6 of the Morphe palettes that I have. It's actually really bomb. Anyway, so this one is, again, smaller. You have less shades, but I definitely think it's well-rounded. So you already have this bottom blue smoky robe. Checks off your smoky, checks off your blues. You have a deep, deep, warm chocolate brown up here to smoke things out. That can smoke things out. You have some warm shades here. You have some neutral and cool shades right in the center. And it's a variety of finishes. This one, again, you don't have as many shades, but it's definitely, you can get a warm look. You can get a cool look. You can get a neutral look. You can get a smoky look. You can get a pop of color up in here. I'll tell you something. If you're picking any pop of color, y'all know I'm partial to gold. Butts, Dream, and Attraction. Let me Oh, you wouldn't think I'd be into the pastel metallics, but sugar pie honey bunch. So so you know on that. These blend like a dream. They're affordable. Large pans, just, I mean, I can't say any bad things about them. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. Out of all four, I can't pick one. I mean, I really can't. If I have to, I'm going to say the Urban Decay Born to Run palette, because you probably can find that in most places, Ulta and Sephora. The other ones, you have to go online and different things like that. But definitely check out these well-rounded palettes. I think, I don't know, let me know. I want to make a video on, I think I will do it, warm palettes, because warm palettes have been the trend, and it's like there's so many warm palettes. So what is the best one? So yeah, I'll definitely jump on that next. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, so let me know if you have a palette. These are based on my collection. There might be a better, well-rounded palette out there. Just think about, like, I think about all of my, like, my Lorac palettes, my Lorac Mega, but their theme. Their theme is, they're a neutral theme. They don't have, you know what I'm saying? Those pops of color. So this is something that, like, covers all of those. And I just, let me know your favorite well-rounded palettes. If you have a palette in your collection that's well-rounded, feel free to let me know. Leave it down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in the video, feel free to leave it down below. I love you all, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.